I know I haven't been posting as much as I used to, and my water art series has also been kind of... I'm really sorry about that. It's just been a lot these past 2 months. School has been pretty hectic. My physical and mental health has also been so it's been great. It's been fine. I know it just seems like I'm just stressed out of my mind and I haven't been doing really well, but honestly, I've been having a lot of fun behind the scenes, and I thought it would be nice to just share with you guys what's been going on. And also share, of course, some of the shows that I've been watching, because that's what we do on this channel. So let's go!
Could I interest you in everything all of the time?
I started off July by watching Gun Maverick in cinemas, and I really loved it, which was kind of unexpected because I watched the first Top Gun when I was in Australia and I wasn't really a big fan of it. But back to Top Gun, I had so much fun watching it. The soundtrack has no right to slap as hard as it did. The beach scene just lives in my head rent-free. The cinematography was just really beautiful. The story was also cool, and Miles Teller has no right to be that hot after he just tormented me back in primary school. I will never forget you, you dipshit. My school side has also been pretty eventful since we started going into the production side of things. Previously, it was more of pre-production, which involves a lot of writing and just a lot of the prep beforehand, but this time we're actually making use of the actual cameras itself. In my videography module, we actually started learning about 2-point camera setups. It's usually used for interviews, so for that lesson, we had to make use of what we learned to create a mockumentary. We decided to do about a girl who has a weird sussy baka obsession with vending machines. I would show it to you, but the footage that we took was a little weird, so... The reason why we are learning this is because in our other module, we actually have to film an actual documentary, which has been... So let me just spill to y'all the tea regarding this whole mess of a production. Our original profile was actually a Filipino drummer who has a pretty interesting story. We actually met up with him before we had to submit our script, and he was a really nice guy too. We even filmed some footage beforehand since we had some of our equipment. The thing is, we couldn't get the proper permits signed. Mind you, this was like 1 day before the submission, so we were stressed out of our minds. Since we can't do it, we decided to change our profile, and in the end we had like about 1 week to write 3 weeks worth of work, which was a shame because pretty much everything was already done beforehand for our original profile. All we had to do was just get the form signed, which we could not get it at all. It was just really frustrating, and then to make matters worse, I got COVID that week. Whoever said COVID is like the flu, I don't know what y'all on because it was just so painful. I'm fully vaccinated, so it wasn't too bad. I can't even like talk properly because my throat feels awful. Look at all these medicines. I also have to drink this cough mixture that's like this pinkish hue. Like, that's so cool. Disgusting! It's been about like 3 weeks since I got COVID, and I'm honestly still coughing. Like, as I'm filming this, I still have like this honey water drink that I'm drinking. Like, there's my script. Oh, that's good stuff. And what was worse was that other than that documentary that I had to do with my group mates, I also had like other submissions. I had to come up with a game show proposal, which let's not talk about. I also drank a lot of this Chinese medicine called tang. It looks like mud water but tastes spicy and bitter at the same time. It is the most nastiest medicine you'll ever eat, I guess. I also had like 42-degree fevers, but I remember feeling fine around that time. Like, I still like went ahead and like filmed stuff. How did I get COVID though? Well, I went to Kpop Dance Off, which is essentially a K-pop dance event where people play K-pop songs and then you just dance to it. Before Miss Rona hit, I would actually go to this event pretty much almost every month when I had the chance. And since public events like this are now allowed, and I also happened to be around the area at the time, I decided to go. It may have been the place where I got COVID, but honestly, I have no regrets going because I was just able to, meet some of my friends that I haven't really seen in a while. I also just had a confidence boost that I've never had in a really, really long time. And overall, the vibes were just immaculate. And before I tested positive, I also went to watch Thor Love and Thunder. To keep things short, I thought it was alright. It's a very Taika Waititi film. I know a lot of people hate that, but in all honesty, I think sheesh. For better or for worse, I kind of like how Marvel is just letting their directors do their thing, and as a result, their current movies, while I feel not as good, they're still able to have some personality in there, and I quite appreciate that. So back to me getting COVID. After my submissions, I also was finally able to have some time for myself, so I decided to watch the anime Psychopass. I really loved it. The world that they built was just so interesting, creating a really unique take on the crime genre. I also really loved the dynamic between the protagonist and Kogami and the antagonist Makishima, Scott Fitzgerald. It's just so much like Sherlock and Moriarty. Heck, they even look like anime Sherlock and Moriarty. And who can't resist a good rivalry story? But what I just really love about it was how it really makes you think about the constructs in which our society is governed. The second season, unfortunately for me, it just wasn't as good. It just started to poke holes in the set system that the whole show is based off, and the characters just didn't have the same amount of depth as the previous season's characters. And eventually I just figured out that it was all nonsense, so I just turned my brain off, which I feel is not what you should do when you're watching these sort of psychological thrillers and crime dramas. But I'm not sure if I'll watch the third season, but yeah, I highly recommend it if you are a new beginner weeb like me. I was finally recovered, so we could finally begin with filming our documentary. Our new profile was a BTS-inspired small business called GM Pins. She does the cutest BTS-inspired animal pins as well as some of her own digital artworks. Yes, if it wasn't already obvious, this was my idea. It was pretty funny to me though, because everyone else in my group were guys who know nothing about BTS, so they were just pretty lost throughout everything that the profile was saying. At one point, my producer took this footage thinking it was BTS. It was really funny. I was clowning him for it.
Who is this
Jimin.
Sorry, they all look the same. I just offended like a few hundred million people, right?
The filming was pretty rushed since we wanted to just get it done and over with, and admittedly there were things that I wished were done better or I would have done differently, but I'm pretty happy with what we put out, especially considering how this was all done like 1 week beforehand. I came up with this idea wanting to show how much passion can drive a person and just create a different perspective to the BTS army. People just often see us as crazy fangirls, and I wanted to create a more positive outlook that I feel the media doesn't often cover. I just wanted to show how much BTS has inspired thousands of people in the world, just as they have done for me. If it wasn't for their calling for people to follow their dreams and follow your passions, I would most probably not be where I am today. I would not maybe even be here at all. I'm honestly just really thankful for them, and yeah, it's just a small little thank you note for all that they have done for me. Around this whole period, I also started questioning my religious beliefs. By now, y'all would have already known of the Roe v. Wade situation in America, and while there has been an outrage from women all across the world, I see so many people out there who identify as Catholic just celebrating God taught me to love thy neighbor, including thy enemies. And just seeing all of this is just not what I feel he taught us. I am Catholic, so by right I technically shouldn't support abortion, but at the same time I also acknowledge that this is my own belief and I should not and force my beliefs onto others. It just so happened that I also watched the drama Under the Banner of Heaven. It follows a Mormon detective prior who slowly uncovers buried truths about the origins of the LDS religion and the violent consequences of unyielding faith while trying to solve a murder. Seeing Prior's, inner struggle as he slowly learns about this religion that he has believed since he was young and something that he is pretty proud of, while not exactly similar to what I am going through, I was still just somehow able to find some sort of comfort in seeing it. I didn't finish the show because honestly, it was a little bit boring, but I did enjoy it while it lasted, and I guess that's just the beauty of shows. You're able to connect with different characters, even though they may be in completely different circumstances. Somehow you're just able to connect with them, and I think that's just the beautiful thing of media. That's why I'm doing whatever I'm doing now. But yeah, that has just been everything that's been going on in my life in July. Currently it's August, it's a whole other roller coaster, but we'll talk about that another day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Say goodbye to Psyduck, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!